Amen. Glory to God. Just 1 second. I want to tell you guys what the real deal is. I was in prayer just a minute ago, and I had some spontaneous enlightenment, and I just want to say in real quick, one little section, what's going to happen and what we're headed for and why Christianity and good and evil are at odds with one another. Christianity in the world and good and evil are at odds with one another. Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. The enemy's trying to reel in all those things sick, unchristlike, twisted, demented, perverted, and inverted. Remember, inversion. Remember this. And I'm telling you what, in every subject, sexual subjects, how can I put this in words? Everything that we're going through today as a human race is being subjected to perversion at such a rate that it will be accepted. Once acceptance of this perverted nature has been fully acclimated into our society, anybody that tries to bring pure, good-hearted, Christ-like lifestyle suggestions to those who are living adversely are going to be shunned, ridiculed, banned, imprisoned, and silenced. And that's where the enemy's headed with all this. That's what I'm trying to say. Is all this inversion, all this twisted perverseness, all this societal downfall, all this degradation is acclimated for the enemy to use as his power source against the Christian man, against the Christian source, against the Christian power, against the truth. Pretty soon we're going to be surrounded by people who are going to knock on the doors of our houses asking to take 3-year-olds out to dinner. I'm not kidding you. You watch. You watch. If they've already accepted, and I'm not trying to be, and I'm not racist, I'm not homophobic, I have homosexual friends. I don't hate the person for their 6 choices. I'm telling you, my choices to be with any woman whatsoever beyond marriage is a perverse nature. If I imagine myself with her, if I keep doing those things perverted in my mind, that is perverse. Do you agree? Therefore, and I'm not calling you homosexual man or woman, you personally, a person who is worthless, a person who doesn't have anything good to give, a person who is not fit for society. I'm not saying that. Then you'd have to say the same thing to me for my sins of what, I'm not going to list them all, but I have plenty, trust me. My point is this, don't get so offended when we bring up some help for you people who are struggling with the same things as we are in a different mannerism. All of us have to deal with perverted sexualism and a perverted nature. We all have to, Christians alike, guys. It just happens that somewhere along the line, whether it's from the atrazine that was placed in our water, whether it was from an XY chromosomal default, whatever it was, you have something that you have to deal with personally with God. That's your personal sin. I have a problem too. I have a problem with women, alcohol, drugs, all kinds of them. So you got to deal with yours too, brother and sister. Homosexuality in God's eyes is a sin, and that's just that. So is drug addiction. So is all the things that I was susceptible to. So I'm not better than you. So don't try that logic with me. Don't hate me for telling you something that's good for your soul. Because I don't hate who you are. I don't hate your essence. I don't hate what you believe in. And I don't hate your values. I love everybody. I look at everybody as a unique, blessed gift. I think we all fall short. I'm trying to help you with your sin. Not with calling you names and oppressing you. I want to build you up. And I'm still going to love you even if you're a guy and you still like dick. I'm sorry. I'm very street-wise and street-minded guy, so sometimes my lingo comes out. I'm called back to the streets. I deal with those people all the time, and I'm sorry if you're a brother or Christian or sister who hasn't experienced those hard hitting words and these things that I experience every day walking the streets of the drug-ridden places and the dark places and alleyways of this world. Trust me, okay? I'm sorry. Sometimes my message, I get called into a different group, say like you're a goody-goody two-shoes. That's not who I'm called to. I'm sorry, and that's good for you. Good. I'm glad you had a great life. I'm glad your parents brought you up well and that you've never had to experience any pain, hardship, or turmoil and didn't see the dark side of life. However, I was different, and I have to speak from only my perspective. So please, brother or sister who is struggling with any sin, don't think I'm judging you. I'm not. I'm trying to elevate your spirit. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to free your mind. If you don't think I'm trying to free your mind, never mind. I'm just going to stop now. That's all I want to say. And what I'm saying is if we allow this perversion, mine, yours, or homosexual, any kind of perversion to continue to subsist in society, And we allow these thoughts and these people dressing up in deviled horns and nothing on, walking around the streets in front of our kids, slinging their penises in their mouths. And I saw a little kid walk. I'm not trying to be gross. I saw a little kid walk by on a video clip that I was walking at a gay pride parade, and a dude hit him with a dildo in his mouth, a little boy. And the little boy was crying. Now, come on, man. I'm not trying to be gross, but what are you doing with your kids out there like that? I'm sorry. See, there I go again. This is why our culture is becoming inverted by the enemy. There is a real enemy for your soul. There is a devil. There is a Satan, okay? And there are fallen angels that work, and there are spirits that are unclean that were left behind by the Nephilim and the giants that can't ascend to heaven, and they can't go to the earth. So they're here for you too. That's who you're dealing with. Don't confuse this with with aliens and all this other ghosts and all this stuff. These are spiritual manifestations by high-minded creatures, beings that your Creator created to serve Him. They fell short and went opposite ways because of their pride or their self-will, literally, and now we have to struggle with them, along with our struggle, because we were disobedient in the garden as well. We don't listen as well, but God in His loving mercy is still trying to help us. So don't look at Him like so oppressively when He's literally trying to help His creation. He created us. We didn't come from a sporadic ooze or a blob or some protein cell. Okay, I'm just sorry that did not happen. You know how I can prove that? And I can argue against any fool in this world. I'm telling you the truth. Why? And I'm not calling you a fool or any person a fool. I'm calling a person who submits himself to the authority of his selfish thoughts, his selfish mind, and he thinks he's so overwhelmed with intellectualism and hyper-intellectualism that he is better than you. My Father in heaven is better than all of that. And I go to Him in my weakness. So if I'm not as strong as the strongest mentally strong men here on this earth in their own self-will, guess what? I die to my flesh right here because I know I can't beat you here. And I go ask Him for what I need. And He gives it to me. Right now, what's happening in society is inversion. The enemy's using everything perverted and unholy and bringing it into our world through our propaganda, through our media, our social media networks, and everything like that, so that we in our flesh will become thinking about those perverted images getting shown us, and we will submit our authority, body, will, spirit to those perverse acts, because our flesh needs those things. I want to feel good. Sickos. No, we're sickos. We are sick. Okay? Let me ask you this. If those acts are so productive and so great, then we should all just be walking around doing perverted things to each other all day long. Or is it something that you have to do in a mental gratification where you can't even think intellectually? So then if it's not an intellectual thing, then why do we need it so bad? And why do we have to be so perverted that I have to accept it? And why do I have to let it ingrain my culture to the point where we fall short in our spiritual life? I don't like this. I'm a perverted man myself at one time. I was a perverted man myself at one time, especially when I get high on that meth and slam that 50 unit stick in my arm, and I would look at all these girls at the club and go, yeah, oh boy, it's time. Oh yeah. And I would corrupted plenty of them. And that's what I'm talking about. So I was the corrupter. I'm telling you guys, I've seen both sides. I play devil's advocate here. I know what's going on. I'm just as bad. I'm trying to tell you all that, so I'm not judging you. So anybody that tells me that I'm judging, and if you're a homosexual and you call me a homosexual hater, guess what? I did homosexual acts, so I don't even want to hear it. I'm not homosexual, but I did suck dick for money. And I'm not trying to be sick and perverted here either. That's just what it is. And if you can't handle these realities in this check, then maybe this isn't a channel for you. I'm sorry. If I say things that are part of my life that are true and they offend you that bad, then maybe this isn't for you. Because guess what? Those things that hurt me that bad and drug me down to the dirt that I hate so badly, He blessed me and saved me from. And I have a message for people that are just like me. So maybe you're too good for me. That's fine. Maybe you find me obtrusive, hateful, which I'm not. I'm just truthful. I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. From the smallest sinner to the biggest. From the murderer to the child molester. From the sick, perverted man who loves women and little boys, all the way up to the homosexual, man-to-man, sex man, person, or whatever, man-on-man sex, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. If they're into that, I don't hate you for that. Okay? But I do want to give you some light. I want to give you some things that'll help you with your spirit, because I know, I've done plenty of sexual acts. I don't feel really clean after a lot of those things, and I've had plenty of women too, and it doesn't feel very clean to me, even if I wasn't a Christian. Even if I wasn't a Christian whose values you hate, because if you just got done having sex with somebody that was even a woman and a man, I don't care, and I walked up to you and said, brother, maybe you shouldn't be doing those things outside of marriage. It's not because I'm hating you or judging you. It's because I really believe these things that I'm reading now. Because, you know what? This is the best way I can handle to say this. Is because I've been called very offensive and judgmental many times, is that I'm not judging you. The best way I can think of this and to let you know that I'm not is to just give you my information about my own life, and you can sit there and say, but you did that, you did that. Yeah, I did. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I did it all too. I was sucked in by my flesh too. So I know that I'm not weak as well. I'm susceptible to the things of this world. I'm susceptible to the same temptations, the same pushings and pullings that you feel. That's why Christ came in the flesh, God fully in the flesh, and he understands too. He was tempted by his own creation. What I mean by that is he built everything. He was there at the beginning with the Father. They are one. Same river, two different streams, same source. What I'm saying is this. He was there. He yet still was tempted when Satan saw him on the mountain. Still tempted. He got weak. The angels had to come and comfort him, and he's the creator. Satan tried to sell him his own stuff. And he still got tempted in the flesh here in this realm because he looked at his creation in the flesh and finally thought, wow, this is what they have to deal with every day. This stuff is tangible, real. It makes you feel, I did a good job. This creation is pretty cool. And he felt it. Trust me. He felt it. He stayed here long enough to feel it, not only to feel the temptation, but to feel what it's like to be killed and hurt and separated from the source for a moment. Guys, we all got to go through this. We're all going to feel this way. We're all going to feel like, why you got to tell me that, man? Because it's contrary to the way your flesh is telling you to feel. And I'm not hateful to anybody, whether or not you identify with whether or not you're a transgender who identifies as a homosexual frog with a pigs for families. I'm just being funny, dude, because I've seen a lot of weird stuff lately, and I respect your imaginations, guys. You just got to know that the Creator gave you those imaginations. Embrace them. Go help the children with dogs. They love to dress up as dogs and paint their faces. If you're having problems identifying, take your gift of creativity and go help other people. Don't cause this reality to be inverted. That's the enemy. He's going to bring all this stuff so that we have to accept. Oh, well, let's just accept. Okay. But in the middle of that acceptance, there's going to be a group that builds up. And if we accept the sickness into the body, keep on accepting more and more sicknesses into the body, the more sicknesses are going to grow and then fester. And eventually there's going to be so many sick people that if you come up to all the sickness people who think they're living right because they were accepted into society and the constant gratification of everybody saying it's okay, you can't hate these people, they start getting authority. They start thinking that they're living right and they can stand over you now. So get a bunch of people that are homosexually minded, that are driven towards being frogs. They identify as frogs. Let's say they think they're frogs. And I'm just being facetious here, very, very facetious. I'm not judging homosexuals or anything, so let's get that correct first. I love every person out there. I'm just saying a person who has this, let's call it not homosexuality, let's just say this perverse nature, just like I had when we were doing what we were doing, of any kind. And they keep adhering to this, and they keep bringing more and more people into their belief system. And pretty soon the people that were once the majority, who stood for values that were real and moral issues that were real and empathetic issues that were real and ethical issues that were real, are slowly going to be disintegrated and pushed aside. And then the greater mass of people who are now invertedly pedophilic, perverted, homosexual, ridden with guilt, ridden with hate, ridden with bitterness, gall, and all the anti-fruits are going to run the world. And us Christians with our conservative mindset, see how this is going to work invertedly, are going to slowly be pushed out. And that's it. So I can't stand that way. We need balance. I'm just saying, I don't mind your beliefs, but you can't push mine out as well. Okay? Let's get that straight. I love you, each and every one of you. Sorry, I thought that was going to be a second, but that's all I got to say. I love you. Bye.